So I talk a lot about the shot process and positional shooting, and this is the target that I developed for what I call the 4x4 drill. And the 4x4 drill is one shot per square and 4 targets. So standing, kneeling, seated, prone. You can also do standing, high kneeling, low kneeling, prone. And this leads to a number of other drills. One of the drills that I like is the best and worst drill. So you take your best position out of the 4 positions and your worst position out of the 4 positions. Then you go through it another time on another target and you shoot 1 from your best, change to the worst, 1 to the worst. And some people don't like calling something best and worst, but I think your body intuitively feels and can adjust to when you do something at your best, how does it feel different when you change positions and shoot, and you'll be able to see that. But because you just took a shot from one where it went where you intended, sometimes you can sense it, sometimes you can see, and sometimes you can feel where something wasn't right or how it was different, and you can self-analyze best and worst, best and worst, best and worst. And what I tend to see is as people do that, the worst gets closer to the best, and by the end it's much more consistent than the beginning, and that tends to be much more long-lasting because their body can feel it, their nervous system can adjust because they're seeing the change visually between what they were doing when it's done ideal and what they were doing but not necessarily aware of to begin with. So let's take a look at that. It's not uncommon for a lot of shooters to have their best position be prone and their worst position standing. And so for this, I'm gonna do prone and standing and talk my way through it. What I tell people to do with not only the 4x4, but also the best and worst, is to talk through their shot process to themselves while they do it. And if they're filming it, which I highly recommend, to do it out loud so that when you're reviewing your footage, you can remember exactly what's happened. So I'm gonna go prone, standing, prone, standing. I'm gonna talk through what I see. I'm not gonna go super fast, but I'm not gonna go super slow. Let's go. I got my workspace set up. I got my rifle pointed at the target. I got target, anchor, bag coming in to my workspace, dropping down to my sight picture. I'm gonna check my data. I wasn't dialed. I'm gonna dial my dope. I'm gonna confirm the visual on my wind. I'm gonna hold my predicted wind value. I'm gonna inhale on the bolt close. I see my impact, I see my wind call, and my follow through is complete. I got all the data that I need. I didn't put my ears on, so my ears are ringing. Mental mistake. Everybody can laugh at me. Now I'm going to transition, and I want to be mindful of my transition. I've been working on mechanics, so I'm trying different mechanics. I'm going to come over, same thing. Target, anchor, sight picture, inhale, exhale, follow through. I saw my shot. I'm gonna go back, position, anchor, sight picture, I see it. Position, anchor, sight picture, inhale, exhale. And I saw what I needed to see. Now we'll go down. I'll show you the target. I see the 1, 2, 3, 4. I can explain 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you notice differences in those point of impacts on your follow through, you make a mental note or you say it out loud. This went here, this went here, this went here, this went here. And I think that that's a really good way for you to recognize what you see and think about what you did to the rifle to cause that change. And what you'll notice here is that my elevation was about a 1/10 high. I didn't want to change it because of the drill. I kept my point of aim, point of impact the same, but I would note that my data was a 1/10 high consistently between positions. This was, you know, I usually for this distance dial 3.6, so I dialed, 3.6, so I dialed 3.6, and for this round, that might not be 3.6. If we were doing weaponized math, I would adjust my dope to 3.5, validate it, write that in, and carry my data there. I like hard data. The bullet's telling me that this round and this rifle at that distance, this is what you dial. It doesn't really matter what this is telling you when consistently and repeatedly you keep hitting the same spot. You know, that's reality, and this is all helpful stuff. Okay, so just like if you were shooting paper at 100, this is shooting at 680, and my first shot was prone, and it was this mark right here, prone. Got my wind hold, it was what I thought it was gonna be. Moved to standing, standing, boom. All right, that was confirmed. Got down, got to prone. Third shot, it was a little bit left for whatever reason, and then I got up, did the same hold again, just because I wanted to make sure that this wasn't me. And my second standing shot, my fourth shot overall, hit here. And so I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you look at this group, 4 shots isn't entirely telling. However, the one that was left of the group was my prone, and prone is probably my weakest position because I don't usually shoot prone. I'm gonna make another video on all positions other than prone, but nevertheless, you can see here that we still have a group that is about 4 inches wide and, you know, about 2 inches tall at 670 yards. So I would say that regardless of this being out of the group, it still shoots within my shooter bracket, so I'm not concerned. If I felt something, I would have noticed it, noticed I didn't put in my ears, and I noticed that this prone shot went a little bit left. I can make a note of that and say, why did it go left? Analyze it on paper and see if I was doing something, or chalk it up to anything in this circle would have been acceptable, and my wind call is okay at this distance. And when I'm looking through my reticle, I note the left and right deviation in my shooter bracket, and this is about my same wind hold because of shooter variation, not wind variation. So I didn't adjust my wind hold because I knew in that bracket it's hard to tell if it's me or wind, and the wind has been relatively constant in terms of speed today. And so really after that first shot, I knew my bracket was pretty good, and here I wasn't gonna miss. I knew my elevation was high, but I held, you know, my wind hold here, and all the shots went here. So then I could go back and say this is a you know, a shift in my data. If I was going to shoot at this distance again, I would dial a 1/10 lower, record that in my hard data book, and then when I'm getting my Kestrel tuned up for an event or something where I'm going to rely on my Kestrel, I want to make sure that the Kestrel matches reality, not the other way around.